Welcome to the Workday HR and Payroll for Fiscal Staff course. In this module, we'll be taking a closer look at the workflows for Change Job and Add Job, your role as a cost center manager or as a member of the RRC in the flow, and we will conclude by showing a brief demonstration of the review and approval step in Workday. The Change Job and Add Job processes are connected to the Recruit to Hire process, but are associated with individuals who already hold a position at the university. It is important that you have a high-level understanding of these processes. The HR consultant will be a point of contact for the manager and candidate. You will need to approve certain change job requests. The change job process will be applicable for modifications that occur to an employee's job, not the position. This process will work in sync with the Recruit to Hire process. An employee may go through the Recruit to Hire process, but go through change job instead of hire. An example of when the change job process may be used within hire could include an individual's move from a compensation consultant to a talent acquisition consultant. As a cost center manager or RRC member, you may not always play a role in the Workday process for transfers or individuals going through the recruiting process to change their role. You will have already approved the job requisition and will only need to take a second look if costing changes or hours increase. If applicable, you will verify. Costing allocations are added. Proper work tag usage. Compensation range. Reasonable business purpose. Budget. Or check for policy compliance. If there are any changes to be made, the cost center manager will send the process back to the HRC for edits. The change job process will vary based on whether it is a transfer or data change. This process shows the change job with hire or as a transfer. The data change or change job details non-transfer process, also done through the change job business process, will be shown in a later section of the course. As a cost center manager or RRC member, your role will be to approve those change job requests for employment end date extensions and scheduled hours increases. The process for change job within hire and for transfer is as follows. Step 1. TA consultant marks the candidate ready for hire and selects change job. Step 2. TA coordinator reviews and approves details. This includes current manager, if the transfer is requested, receiving manager, if the initiating user is not the same as the processing user, or this was not initiated by request transfer task or swap positions. Review the change job, if it is a transfer but not one that is being requested by the employee. Step 3. TA coordinator reviews organization assignments. HR consultants will only be involved with this instance of organization assignment changes if the time entry method changes. Step 4. If applicable, grad school partner approves. Step 5. If applicable, cost center manager or RRC approves. This will occur for situations such as employment end date extensions and scheduled hours increases. Step 6. If applicable, end period activity pay. Initiator will receive the to-do step. HR consultant will review. This should only happen if the period activity pay is ended in the middle of a semester. It will not happen often. All future dated period activity payments would need to be ended as well. Step 7. If applicable, add period activity pay. Initiator will receive the to-do step. HR consultant will review. Step 8. If applicable, health system manager assigns costing allocations. This will be applicable for certain job management roles in the health system. It will automatically route to the manager. Concurrently, the following steps will occur. A. Workday security is updated. B. If applicable, talent acquisition coordinator requests one-time payment if there is a one-time payment in the offer. C. If applicable, the absence partner will update time off requests. D. If applicable, the talent acquisition coordinator will add a probation period if the job family is CCS or if the job requires a union membership. E. If applicable, employee or benefits partner changes benefits elections. F, employee reviews new job information. G, if applicable, ELR coordinator manages union membership. H, if applicable, employee completes questionnaire if the employee is a graduate teaching associate and enrolled in STRS, State Teachers Retirement System. I, onboarding and offboarding. J, if applicable, academic partner manages or updates academic appointment. This will be relevant for employees who have or will have an academic appointment. K, if applicable, manager updates location. This might happen if the employee is moving to be remote. The add job process will be applicable for individuals who hold more than one role at Ohio State. This may happen for a few reasons, including students who hold more than one part-time job on campus, or staff who also serve as lecturers. When an additional job is added to the employee, there will be an opportunity to distinguish which job is the primary and which is the secondary. This will be extremely important. This decision drives certain items such as payroll and benefits. If this is incorrect, the individual and their manager will need to work with HR Connection to fix the problem. As a cost center manager or RRC member, you may not always play a role in the Workday process for receiving an additional role. If applicable, you will verify costing allocations are added, proper work tag usage, compensation range, reasonable business purpose, budget, and check for policy compliance. Similar to change job, the add job process may vary based on population and job type. This process will cover the high-level steps and overview for some of the general actions that will happen after the HR consultant's involvement. The process for add job can be seen now, and I will quickly go through this next. However, as mentioned before, your role in this process is extremely similar to that in change job. The add job process is as follows. Step 1. Talent acquisition consultant marks candidate ready for hire and selects add job. Step 2. Talent acquisition coordinator proposes compensation change for physicians. Step 3. If needed, the TA coordinator will review and update the organization assignments. Step 4. Grad school partner will review if the job is less than 10 or greater than 20 hours by looking at the current assignments. Step 5. If applicable, the unit or college cost center manager or RRC approves. Add job routes to the cost center manager if scheduled hours increases or costing changes from job requisition. Step 6. If applicable, period activity pay will be added. This process, as mentioned before, will be covered later on in the course. Step 7. The manager will assign costing allocations. Concurrently, the following steps will occur. Employee reviews and confirms details. Employee onboarding. If applicable, employee completes a questionnaire. Talent acquisition coordinator adds probation period for union or CCS. Employee admin coordinator manages academic appointment. Health and welfare coordinator or employee updates benefits elections and STRS questionnaire if applicable. Manager or manager liaison enters or removes alternate location if remote. Let's take a look at an example. An employee in the college or unit would like to increase their part-time hours. This would be a change for the employee, not for the position long term. After discussing this with their manager, college or unit leadership, and HR, the manager will initiate the change job details request for the employee. You may be involved in these conversations before any action is taken in Workday to provide guidance to the employee and manager. I'm currently logged in as Raymond Studer, a cost center manager. I'm going to navigate to the inbox and select the data change request to review. Throughout the request, you will see small blue circles to the left of the data. These indicate elements of the job that were updated through this request. I will start by looking at the Start Details section. Here, I will ensure that the date for when do you want this change to take effect is correct. This field will default to the start date of the next pay period because of the employee's pay rate type. If the change must take effect before the default date, the date will need to be changed. Once the date is changed, the pay period checkbox will automatically uncheck. Next, I will ensure that the reason for why are you making this change is correct. This should always read data change. You will not be able to edit this information. Next, I will ensure the box for do you want to use the next pay period is selected. The guidance for managers when making job changes is to make changes in accordance with the pay period dates if possible. This field will default to yes because the default start date of the next period is populated under the when do you want this change to take effect field. If the change is being made for a time in the future and the effective date is known, it is okay to enter it in advance. Next, I will review the job section. I will review and ensure that the correct position is listed. I will review the boxes next to the following questions. Do you want to create a new position? Close the current position? And is the current position available for overlap? These 3 questions will be applicable when an individual is leaving a position. For this instance, the individual is not leaving the position, so these do not apply. Next, I will ensure that the correct job profile is selected. If the job profile needs to be changed, you need to go through the Edit Position Restrictions process. Next, I will review the Location section. Here, I will review the location, the workspace, and the scheduled weekly hours. Next, I will go to the Details section. Here, I will review the employee type, time type, and pay rate type. I will also review the FTE percentage. This should automatically update based on the scheduled weekly hours and default weekly hours. Finally, I will review all of the remaining fields of the request for accuracy. At this time, we are done reviewing the request. For this request, there is no option to add additional reviewers, but you are able to approve, send back, or deny the request. I'll select Approve. This concludes the demonstration. Thank you so much for attending the session today. Please reach out with any questions or concerns that you may have about the materials we've covered.